Recording in progress.
Welcome back to Mataya Hawadah, the spirits and the waters and the blood. Most definitely, Tawara Abram Yahweh, for giving me the opportunity to address individuals on this gloomy Thursday. All right, so Tawara Abram Yahweh for giving me the opportunity to edify, educate, and even ratify some concerns in Scripture. Please take the time out to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification for whenever I release new content. Move for whenever I release new content. Most definitely, I'm not playing with you. Go lay down. But anyway, to address or giving individuals proper understanding of scripture. Even if you have questions, please, or for scriptures that I do read or go over, please leave them down in the comment section and then I'll address them whenever I see them. Most definitely, just wanted to take the time out, like I said before, to edify, educate, reach my fellow Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters and individuals across the world. Most definitely. With this, I'm just going to go ahead and go into a reading of Lamentations. I found it very interesting. Hopefully, you do as well. I'm not going to make this video long, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen. Peace out to all our brothers that's putting in work, that shows support for other individuals' channels, and most definitely reaching the edification so that we could all praise Yahweh with one accord and one voice and one praise and be heard. All right. So with that being said, like I said before, I'm going into Lamentations. Full screen. Make me a little bit broader so I can see. Speaking of, let me take off my glasses so I can see. All right. And I'm reading from the King James Version. You could also pick NIV, NAS, AMP Amplified, all kinds of different scriptures, the lexicon, LXX, Septuagint, and different things like that. So, or different scriptures like that in order to compare what was actually translated. So, basically, like I said before, I'm just going to go ahead and use the KJV. Oh, and a sister reached out and asked me what do or as far as teaching individuals Hebrew and how our own people can't even speak our inherited languages and we can't. So when because it's new to us, what was old to us is now new. All right, so now with any advice that I'm gonna give to anyone is that you try to actually first study your Hebrew alphabets, like the aleph, bet, get them, dalet, he, wa, sa, the, sa, yod, cha, lamet, mem, noon, sade, ayin, sarati, ayin, fef, tsa, qua, resh, ra, or sheen, and then the ta. Tall, all to the tall. All right. So once you basically understand your Hebrew alphabets, then you are able to make the sounds. If you know the names of these symbols right here, you'll basically understand what is, or you'll basically know the enunciation. Dollar, duh, dollar, duh. All right. So with that being said, just one bit of advice: learn your Hebrew alphabets first, and then basically work on the enunciation or pronunciation of words. So just like with the English language, when we were in school, we learned our alphabets first: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So you know what I mean. So basically, you just go like that until you actually can know the alphabets by heart. Then you can actually say the words. All right. So here we go. King James Bible. Let me take off my glasses so I can see. All right, here we go. How lonely lies the city? How doth the city sit solitary that was full of people? Is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations and princes among the provinces. How is she become tributary? She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. Yahweh is gone into captivity because of affliction, and because of great servitude, slavery. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her prosecutors overtook her between the straits, the barren, or between the straits. Not the barren straits, but just took her all over the straits of the sea. Just took her all over and scattered Yahweh, Judah. The ways of Zion do mourn because none come to the solemn feast. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted. And she is bitterness, and she is in bitterness. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper, for Yahweh hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions, have afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions, not keeping her law, statutes, and commandments. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy, and from the daughter of Zion all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture, and they are gone without strength before the pursuer. Jerusalem, remembering the days of her affliction and of her miseries, all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, all the pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy and none did help her. The adversary saw her and did mock at her Sabbaths, Jerusalem hath grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honor her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backward. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She remembereth not her last end. Therefore, she remembereth not her last end. The people, the children of Israel, once we were in captivity, we forgot all about the days of old and how we fell into transgression or why we were being punished in the first place. The only nation to lose our nation. She remembereth not her last end. Therefore, she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O Yahweh, behold my affliction, for the enemy hath magnified himself. The adversary hath spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things. For she hath seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary. For she hath seen that the heathen had entered into her sanctuary, the Edomites, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation. All her people sigh that seek bread. They have given their they have given their pleasant things for meat to relieve the soul. See, O Yahweh, and consider, for I am become vile. Is it nothing to you, all ye that pass by? Behold and see if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow, which is done unto me, wherewith Yahweh hath afflicted me in the day of his fierce anger. From above hath he sent fire into my bones, and it prevaileth against them. He hath spread a net for my feet. He hath turned me back. He hath made me desolate and faint all the day. The yoke of my transgression is bound by his hand. They are withered and come up upon my neck. He hath made my strength to fail. Yahweh hath delivered me into their hands, from whom I am not able to rise up. Yahweh hath trodden underfoot all my mighty men in the midst of me. He hath called an assembly against me to crush my young men. Yahweh hath trodden down the virgin, the daughter of Jehoiada, as in a wine press. For these I weep. For these things I weep. My eye runneth down with water, because of the comfort that should relieve my soul is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevaileth or prevailed. Zion spreadeth forth her hands, and there is none to comfort her. Yahweh hath commanded concerning Jacob that his adversaries should be round about him. Jerusalem is as a minstrous woman among them. Yahweh is righteous, for I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my sorrow. My virgins and my young men are gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and mine elders gave up the ghost in the city, while they sought their meat to relieve their soul. Behold, Yahweh, for I am in distress. My bowels are troubled. My heart is turned within me. For I have grievously rebelled. For I have grievously rebelled. Abroad the sword breatheth. Abroad the sword breatheth. At home there is as death. They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. Let all her wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Lamentations. Jeremiah. Aleph. Alright. Hath Yahweh covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger? Yahweh hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and hath not pitied. He hath thrown down in his wrath the stronghold of the daughter of Jehoiada. He hath brought them down. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. He hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoureth round about. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. He hath stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire. Yahweh was an enemy. He hath swallowed up Yisrael. He hath swallowed up all her places. He hath destroyed his strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Jehoiada mourning and lamentation. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacles, and if it were of a garden, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his places of assembly. Yahweh hath caused the solemn feasts and the Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion. And he hath despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest. Yahweh hath cast off his altar. He hath abhorred his sanctuary. He hath given up into the hand of the enemy the walls of her places. They have made a noise in the house of Yahweh as in the day of a solemn feast. Yahweh has purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the rampart. He made the rampart and the wall to lament. They languished together. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from Yahweh. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground, and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. Mine eyes do fail with tears. My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings swooned in the streets of the city. They say to the mothers, where is corn and wine? When they swooned, as the wounded in the streets of the city, when their soul was poured out into their mothers' bosoms. What thing shall I take to witness for thee? What thing shall I liken unto thee, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I equal to thee, that I may comfort thee, O virgin daughter of Zion? For thy breach is great like the sea. Who can heal thee? Who can heal thee? The prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment from Jerusalem. All that Salathia, all that pass by clap their hand at thee. They hiss and wag their heads at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty? The joy of the whole earth, the joy of the whole earth. All thine enemies have opened their mouths against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it. Yahweh have done that which he had devised. Yahweh had done that which he had devised. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old, that he hath thrown down and hath not pity. And he hath caused thine enemies to rejoice over thee. He hath set up the horn of thine adversaries. Their heart cried unto Yahweh, O wall of the daughter of Zion. Let tears run down like a river day and night. Give thyself no rest. Let not the apple of thine eye cease. Arise, cry out in the night. In the beginning of the watch, pour out thine heart like water before the face of Yahweh. Lift up thy hands towards him for the life of thy young children, the faint for hunger in the top of every street. Behold, O Yahweh, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall the women eat their own fruit, and children of a span long, a child or a children of a span long? Shall the priests and the prophets be slain in the sanctuary of Yahweh? The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Thou hast called as in a solemn day. My terror is round about. so that in the days of Yahweh's anger, none escaped, none remained. Those that I have swallowed up, or swallowed and brought up, hath my enemy consumed. Jeremiah's affliction. I am the man that hath seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He hath led me and brought me into darkness, but not into light. Surely against me he hath turned. He turneth his hand against me all the day. My flesh and my skin hath he made old. He hath broken my bones. He hath built against me and compassed me with gall and travail. He hath set me in dark places as they that be dead of old. He hath hedged me about, that I cannot get out. He hath made my chain heavy. Also when I cry and shout, he shut out my prayer. He hath enclosed my ways. He hath enclosed my ways with hewn stones. He hath made my path crooked. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait, and as a lion in a secret places, or as a lion in secret places. He hath turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces. He hath made me desolate. He hath bent his bow and set me as the mark for the arrow. He hath caused the arrow of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was a derision to all my people, and their song all the day. He hath filled me with bitterness. He hath made me drunken with wormwood. He hath also broken my teeth with gravel stones. He hath covered me with ashes, and thou hast removed my soul far off from me. I forgot or forget prosperity. I had said, my strength and my hope is perished from Yahweh. Jeremiah's hope. Remembering my affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall. My soul hath them still in remembrance and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind. Therefore have I hope. It is of Yahweh mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Yahweh is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. Yahweh is good unto them that wait for him, the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yahweh. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke of his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence, because he hath borne it upon him. He putteth his mouth in the dust. If so be there may be hope. If so be there may be hope. He giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach. For Yahweh will not cast off forever his people. But though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men. To crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right hand of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause. Yahweh approveth not Elohim's justice. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass, when Yahweh commandeth it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Wherefore doth a living man complain, a man for the perish or punishment of his sins? Let us search and try our ways, and turn again to Yahweh. Let us lift up our heart with our hands unto Elohim, and or Alahaya Ba Shamayim in heaven. We have transgressed and have rebelled. Thou hast not pardoned. Thou hast covered with anger and persecuted us. Thou hast slain, thou hast not pitied. Thou hast covered thyself with a cloud, that our prayer should not pass through. Thou hast made us as the offscoring and offscoring and refused in the midst of the people. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Fear and a snare is come upon us. Desolation and destruction. Mine eyes runneth down with rivers of water, for the destruction of destruction of the daughter of my people. My eye trickleth down and ceaseth not, without any intermissions, till Yahweh will look down and behold from Shamayim, the heavens. My eyes affecteth my heart because of all the daughters of my city. My enemies chase me sore. My enemies chase me sore like a bird without cause. They have cut off my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. Waters flowed over my head. Then I said, I am cut off. A prayer for deliverance. I call upon thy name, O Yahweh, out of the low dungeon. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not thine ear at my breathing, at my cry. Thou drawest near in the day that I call upon thee. Thou saidst, fear not. O Elohim, thou hast pleaded the causes of my soul. O Elohim, thou hast pleaded the causes of my soul. Thou hast remembered thy life. O Yahweh, thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Yahweh, and all their indignations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me, and the device against me and all the day. Behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up. I am their music. Render unto them a recompense, O Yahweh, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, thy curse unto thee. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens, or under the Shamayim of Yahweh, the heavens of Yahweh. The distress of Zion. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stone of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers? The work of the hands of the potter. Even a sea monster draw out the beast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostrich in the wilderness. The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. They that did feed delicately and desolately in the streets, they that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her, saved her. Her Nazarites were pure. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were ruddy. They were ruddy in the body than and rubies. They were ruddy. They were ruddy. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishings was as sapphires. Their visage is blacker. Their visage is blacker than coal. That's a point. That's a sign right there. A message, a description of the children, their visage, their appearance, their skin was blacker than coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It is become like a stick. They that be slain with the sword are bitter. Then they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for one of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. O Yahweh hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger. He hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations thereof. The kings of the earth and all their inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. They have wandered as blind men in the streets. They have polluted themselves with blood so that men could not touch their garments. They cry unto them, depart ye. It is unclean, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, they shall no more sojourn there. The anger of Yahweh have divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elders. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They hunt our steps. That we cannot go in our streets. Or our end is near. Our end and they hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. Salathia. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heavens, or the Hashamim. The heavens. Hashamim. Hashayim. They pursued upon us, upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of Yahweh, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquities is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Revelations 2:9. A prayer for mercy and restoration. a prayer for restoration or a prayer for mercy and restoration. Remember, O Yahuwah, remember, O Yahuwah, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our land has turned to strangers. Our houses to aliens, who are orphans and fatherless. Who are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Or our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have bore their iniquity. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver us out of their hand. We got our bread with the peril. We got our bread with the peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women of Zion and the maids in the cities of Yehoiada. Princesses are hanged up by their hand. The faces of elders were not honored. They took the young men to grind. And the children fell under the wood. The elders have ceased from their gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our heart is ceased. Our dance is turned into mourning. The crown is fallen from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned. For our heart is faint. For these things our eyes are dim. Because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it. Thou, O Yahweh, remainest forever. Thy throne from generation to generation. Wherefore dost thou forget us forever and forsake us so long time? Turn thou us unto thee, O Yahweh, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. Renew our praises as old. Renew our days as of old. Our inheritance, the promises. We keep your law, statutes, and commandments. Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua. But thou hast utterly rejected us. Thou art very wroth against us. And with that, I'm going to just go ahead and leave it off with this Lamentations, readings from the King James Bible. King James scripture, like I said, you could go into any one of these, NIV, any NLT, SV, BSB, and other different translations. But then when you look and actually want to grasp some understanding, go to parallel or do a parallel reading to see exactly what the other translations say. Then you can actually go and compare it against the Septuagint and what was actually written and what was not. So with that, I just want to say Tawada again for tuning in. Please take the time out to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification for whenever I release new content, and that way you'll be the first one to be able to like, share, and subscribe. It's free. All right, and then most definitely peace out to all my brothers and sisters that's putting into this work, in order, whether it's on a street corner, from your home, or for whether you walking in, you run into somebody in a store, what have you. But the one thing is for certain, and two things for a fact. One thing's for certain and another thing's for a fact, is that we are all here to worship and do the Father's will, become the children of Israel again. And with that, I want to say Shalom Aleichem. Yahweh Barak.